before this it was Mortal Kombat versus DC, and that was not great. Wasn't terrible, wasn't great. And it was kickstarted to that led into this. Story wise, this game's story was really good. I like the alternate story. They kind of started the whole trend of everyone making Superman evil. I know they've had evil Superman stories here and there, but like this is the one that definitely like made it big. I feel a lot more evil Superman stories started popping up after this, and they didn't do it as good. Led into this game led into some really good comics. Like the Injustice comics were, in my opinion, were pretty good. Gameplay is fairly solid, but there's a lot of issues with the input. Like, I mean, I know I'm just bad at fighting games, but a lot of the times, even in these last few matches, I was trying to hit a certain special move or a certain combo, and I was just not doing it. And I know I wasn't just mashing. I'm not that dumb. So gameplay is okay. You know, you got the transitions, you got the supers, you got the burn meters. Lot of good things going into it. It's just the inputs were kind of janky and bad. Character cast, I will say for most of them, I like the character choices. Some of them were definitely questionable. Some only fit or were added to fit a certain part of the story, which, you know, the second game kind of has that same issue. And it's hard because there are so many characters in DC. It's just like Marvel. Like, Marvel making a fighting game would probably have the same issue. It's like, who do you add? Because you don't want to, in a fighting game, you don't want to have a ton of characters. Like, look what happened with Mortal Kombat Armageddon. There was just so many characters. I think that's one of the fighting games that has the highest character count. I think there are a few that have higher character counts. And that just comes with the problem of the more fighting games you have of a series, you gotta keep adding something new, but you get too high, and then all of a sudden you've got this huge roster of characters. So the roster isn't too bad. I would have probably not have gone with like Solomon Grundy. He really didn't do anything for the story. Shazam was good. Flash was good. Luthor, obviously, Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman. You can't have the main. You can't not have the main three. Green Arrow was a good choice, I think. Killer Frost. It could have been anyone else. Killer Frost does really nothing for the story. Raven and Cyborg. They were, Raven is kind of okay. Cyborg was definitely good for the story. Joker, Harley Quinn, if they make an Injustice 3, they're probably gonna be in it as well. Who else? What do we have? Nightwing. Nightwing was kind of a throw-in, I feel, just to give Damian something, and then in Injustice 2 he goes back to the Robin moniker, so it's like, okay, whatever. Sinestro, you had to have Hal Jordan. Hawk Girl could have been skipped. I mean, she did really almost nothing in the entire story as well. Who else we got? Ares kind of played a key point. Catwoman, Aquaman, I feel is a good addition. Let's see, Deathstroke. Deathstroke was kind of okay to add. Doomsday. Doomsday was a good choice to pick. Bane, you know, he didn't do too much, but you know, they already had Joker, so they could have picked a different villain. But you know, Bane wasn't a bad choice. I like his design in this one more than I do in the second one. Black Adam was kind of pointless, but I mean, you had to have, you know, the villain for Shazam. I mean, because you can kind of see, in a sense, across from each other, that most of the heroes had their villains. You know, they could have went with Black Manta for instead of Killer Frost. They could have, you know, went with, I don't know. I don't know anything about Hawkgirl's storyline. I'm not gonna be honest. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know who her villain is. So Bane is okay. I mean, they could have gave Flash a different villain. Because I think Solomon Grundy is technically Flash's villain. I think he started as a Flash villain. Cyborg doesn't really have a villain, so Slade works. You know, Raven is a Teen Titan, so Green Arrow. I don't know any of Green Arrow's villains off the top of my head, so filling it with Catwoman was fine. You know, so it's, for the most part, the cast is fine. The DLC characters, Zod was an interesting pick. I do not care for his design in this. I appreciate that they gave you the Man of Steel outfit, and if I got to Zod, I definitely would have played as Zod. Lobo's a fun character. Can never go wrong with Lobo. Scorpion, of course, you gotta have some MK representation. Martian Manhunter, story-wise, is interesting because canonically, he gets killed before the story of Injustice. He gets killed, I think, year 2 or 3 in the comics. Zatanna, Zatanna was kind of whatever. She didn't really do anything in the comics, to my knowledge. Batgirl, she did a good amount in the comics, and, you know, as you just saw, Batgirl was very fun for me. I love Barbara. I love redheads, dude. Oh my god. But yeah, so cast was good. Unlocks, kind of whatever. I mean, there's just hero card stuff. I never got to play the multiplayer, so I don't know how the multiplayer was. I don't really got any opinions on that. And then level up and whatever, you know. If I played every character, I would have got to level 50 and, you know, blah blah blah. But so yeah, overall, Injustice, Gods Among Us, I'd give it a good, I'd say 8 out of 10, honestly. It was exciting when it first came out, and it had a lot of going for it. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed. Next week is going to be a new game. I know it's not the end of January at the time, but I want to change it up for reasons, and I will announce what the game is when we do it. So, I mean, you'll see when I load into Twitch, but anyway, have a good night, and hope you enjoyed.